She's not messing around. Whoa, do I even want to handle her like this? When someone finds out that I have a lot of tarantulas, usually the first question is, do I have any that is venomous? To which I would reply, yeah, they all are. The immediate follow-up question would be, so which one is the venomous? To what again I can just give a vague answer like some are more venomous, some are less venomous. None of them are really dangerous to humans, but I can show you which ones are the coolest. So today we are going to deal with two of those coolest tarantulas. Attention to all US and Canada citizens. Are you frustrated and sad that you cannot get the dark den acrylic enclosures in your country? Well, last day of your suffering has come to an end because I collaborated with Tarantula Cribs and these are now available on the US market. So finally you too can get a dark den acrylic enclosure, but since Tarantula Cribs are building these, a build quality is by far superior to the European version, but the functionality and everything else remained the same. The enclosures are stackable, you can get them in arboreal, terrestrial and fossorial version that I still didn't unpack, but yeah, get them because they are awesome. Back to the video. Wow. In a recent video I already announced that we will deal with these two Grammostolas. I showed you how their enclosures are not really worthy of their status, and not to mention are getting way too small. This is Grammostola actaeon. And the other Grammostola is Grammostola pulchra. If I had to choose just one out of these two, then this Grammostola pulchra would definitely be a one and only choice. A beautiful tarantula that gets really big and bulky. But here lies the problem that we hopefully solved. You see the background? I already explained how it is made out of styrofoam, and some tarantulas have a tendency to destroy it, making a big mess that looks nasty, but hopefully I have a solution. It is something that we did in a recent video, so let's check it out. Look at this, a brand new setup that we made just for this Nandu tripepi, and it is a huge tarantula, but in this huge enclosure she really doesn't look that big. She kind of looks small, but this is the change that I did to the background. It looks just like the other one that I showed you in previous enclosure, but this one is more sturdy because on top of that styrofoam I have glue for tiles that hardens, and then the entire background is more sturdy and hopefully tarantula won't be able to destroy it, at least not that easily. The time will tell. This is actually the first time that I'm testing it out, so we will see in the future. But I'm happy to see that plants are all right. The tarantula didn't destroy them, even though she webbed across them, but it seems like she was super gentle when she did it, and the plant stayed untouched. And also the other one, it is all right. And I love how tarantula is actually staying outside. Hopefully it will stay like this and she will be visible most of the time. Anyhow, if you're wondering what does all of that have to do with my two coolest tarantulas, well, you see, I have two enclosures right here that we are going to set up and make respectable homes for them. Oh yes, indeed. And for background we are going to utilize the shown technique, but also I will try to incorporate some rocks and some cork barks in the back. So we are going to see how all of that will work out, and instead of styrofoam we are going to use the expanding foam, but the whole principle is the same, or should be the same. And also I will use this cool branch. Yeah, let's do it. Enclosure on the back, and I will apply the expanding foam directly inside. First I'll position the cork bark exactly where I want it. This should do, and then maybe some rocks. No, first I'll put the foam. And I'm already out of this batch, but I have the another one. Okay, back on track. What the hell? It seems like this bottle went bad or something. It lost pressure. I can press it like this and nothing is coming out, so I'll need to run to store and get a new one. And here I am. It actually passed quite a while. As you can tell by the lights behind me, quite a while passed since the last scene. They didn't have a low expanding foam in the store nearby, so I had to go to the other spot. Anyhow, and that is the reason why, if you're wondering why I just didn't use this one, this is not a low expanding foam, and for this type of work, low expanding foam is much better. Also, as you can see, I added some rocks. I wanted that they glue to the back. Okay, that would be it for this one, and it will be a similar thing for this one. I just need to see how I want to arrange the cork. Yeah, like that. And this wood, yeah, that would be super cool. So I will take all of that out like that, because first I want to apply some foam. Okay, let's see if I can get it inside the same way. So just like this, yes. Perfect. A little bit on the side, just for fun to see if this will work out. Okay, so now this needs to cure, so time to jump, and here is the result. I would say pretty good, you see? And this one, I just love this branch, it looks so much good there. So now, the most tedious part, which is cutting all of that expanding foam and creating proper shapes. So yeah, that will be a time-lapse. Or actually, I'm not even sure if time-lapse will work, so maybe we'll just jump into a already finished background. So this is before and this is after, you see? Everything is a bit smoother, but not a lot of difference, right? Now I'm gonna do the same for the other one. Here I have a bit more foam to work with, but if you're wondering what exactly I'm doing, I just take a knife, a cutting knife, and simply shape it. Nothing special, and sometimes it is even easier to use your fingers, you see? Yeah, straightforward thing. So this is before and this is after, as you can see. So we are ready for the next step, and that is glue for tiles. You see, this is the stuff. It comes in the form of powder. So you need to take the water, add a bit inside, and mix it up. You need to get a nice pasty consistency. This needs more water, so we slowly just keep adding water. Something like this. And now you take some brush, and using that brush you simply apply it on the foam, just like that. It is a slow process, so we are just going to jump to the finished product, and I can tell you that having a lot of details and connecting points, it took a while to do it because you cannot just take a brush and go to town. That way you will get the glue across the entire cork bark, and that is something that you definitely don't want to do, so you need to be kind of super precise. And now the same thing will be with the silicone. When I do a simple plain background like in last video, you just go like crazy across the entire surface, but here it is a bit tedious, so I won't even bother you with the entire process. If you want to see how it's done, go to the previous video or 2 videos ago and you will see how it is done. But let's just jump straight into finished background, and holy moly does this look good. Check it out. It looks incredible, and on camera it is not that good because you don't have a good depth perception, but in reality it's like whoa, I'm so satisfied. And look at the other one. Both Grammostolas should be really satisfied. And the only issue, I mean not the issue, but the sad part is basically almost half of this background will be covered with substrate, so this part won't even be visible, but at least we can appreciate now this bottom part, although I kind of wasted my time doing all the details around the cork bark here because it won't be visible anyway, but I just now realize it. So let's just dump in the substrate and prepare everything for the tarantulas. Unlike the previous enclosure, these two will be without the drainage layer, and that is because I won't add any live plants to the enclosure, so the drainage layer is not necessary. Even though plants will generally make a prettier enclosure, I am a firm believer that you can make a great looking setup even without the live plants, so I want to have a healthy mix of planted enclosures and unplanted enclosures. Also, another reason is planted enclosures require a light for plants that is on during the entire day, and having a lot of enclosures, a lot of planted enclosures with a lot of light requires a lot of electricity, which is kind of expensive. So yeah, even without them, Dark Den is using a lot of electricity, so yeah, I need to be mindful about that. This is roughly how this enclosure will look. So now let's add the height to the other one. Even though both Grammostolas are not really utilizing their current heights, and to be honest, I'm hoping that it will stay like that. I just love how they are visible all the time. It is a great thing. This is the rough look of the second enclosure, although I am now going to add some of these flat stones, some details, and probably some bark. Yeah, I want it to be a bit busier. You know that I love to add stones like this, to arrange them as if they are coming out of the substrate in like layers or something like that. And this will be like the extension of the cork. Although Tarantula is the final designer of its enclosure, as they will usually dig stuff out, move them around, web some things so they aren't even visible, so sometimes it really doesn't matter what you do. But I definitely want to add the leaf litter. Yeah, that is always needed. Some branches, you really can't go wrong with that. And to finish it off with sand for the texture. Yeah, look at this texture. It is like the best, right? A little bit over there and there behind. Yes! Actually, I need to bury the leaf a bit, make like a mess with that. Yeah, to make it look less artificial. And now to add a little bit more sand and call it a day. Yeah, that's it. We can set up the second enclosure. This one will be a bit simpler, and I will only add the leaf litter and sand for the texture, because this branch is already a great detail and I want it to be the central part of this enclosure, except the tarantula, of course. The tarantula is the main attraction of the enclosure, but the enclosure's appearance should be focused on this beautiful branch. And here, and on the back, and here, and over there. This is it. Both enclosures are ready for the tarantula, but it is really late, so I'm going to do one final time jump, and now after I got my beauty sleep, we can continue. Let me just bring the tarantulas. The Grammostola duo. First, we are going to rehouse the actaeon, and then we will handle the pulchra. These girls now barely fit into these 20 by 20 by 20 cubes. One more mold and they would be too big for it now. I will push her with the straw, but knowing her appetite, she will probably just jump straight onto it. Yeah, you see? Although she's not biting it. Interesting. As if she can figure out that it is not a roach or anything like that. Hey, my girl, can I please get you to go outside? But she is showing her fangs. There. Yeah, just follow the straw. Just follow the straw. The easiest way would be to get her on my hand and then put her in the enclosure. I'm pretty sure she will be down for that. And in the background, I think that you can hear the frogs just calling each other. There we go. Oh, she doesn't like my hands. She definitely doesn't like the feel of my hands. So quickly, I'm gonna get her inside. There you go. Inside of her brand new enclosure. Look at this. Oh, perfect. She now got more than enough room to move around and continue the growth. Continue growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm not really sure how big these species get, but I know that Grammostola pulchra will get huge. They get absolutely huge. Once I move her into her enclosure, then we are going to compare the two. Because even though they are the same genus, there are quite a lot of differences when it comes to appearance. Same deal with this one. Ooh, look at her fangs. She's not messing around. Whoa, do I even want to handle her like this? Come on. And this frog. It is kind of interrupting my flow. I'm gonna move the enclosure out of the way. And check her out briefly. Whoa. She's such a showstopper, right? Who is making all that noise? This one? Or nope? Somewhere behind, or somewhere on top. I cannot even spot the frog. You see, I got these bromeliads. They will go on this wall, and I assume that the frog is inside of them or behind them. I have no idea, but it is definitely too loud. Or it is not it, it is definitely he, because males are only calling. Let's now deal with this girl before she escapes somewhere. Oh, yeah, here she is, and I need a good thumbnail. Something like... I'll put her on the other hand. Yeah, just like that. Now you can see her in all of her beauty. Oh yeah. Okay, in you go. Whoo! Beautiful. Yes, please. I'm gonna bring the actaeon. Just look how she's already leaving a trail of silk behind her. Yeah, and now look at the difference when they are side by side like this. The pulchra is fully black, of course. No other coloration on her, while Grammostola actaeon got reddish hairs on the abdomen. The abdomen underneath is black, but the hairs on top of it are reddish. And there is this, it looks like a bald spot, but usually they have something like this. It is just not this big. Hopefully she will soon molt and look pristine once again. But also another difference that is not that striking, but definitely noticeable. Look how her fangs are, when you compare it with her carapace, are kinda bigger than usually on tarantulas. And she's actually doing something with them. You see, she's probably cleaning them or, yeah, doing something. Such a cool sight. Her fangs, or I'm not really sure what is the English terminology, this thing that fangs are attached on, I will write it down. It is a bit enlarged, and when you compare it with actaeon, these appear a bit smaller and a bit more normal like other tarantulas. Also, she definitely appears more hairier. You see, her legs look more hairier and her abdomen is definitely more hairier. You see how pulchra's abdomen looks really smooth without like long hairs. And also her legs, especially this upper part, is definitely way less hairier than when you compare it with actaeon. Just look at the knees, how they are much hairier. So yeah, those are the difference, and pulchra definitely looks just a little bit better. I guess now we can do a quick feeding if they will be down for that, and then we can finish this video. I will give them 2 adult juicy dubias, you see? That is if they are not too stressed for this. Oh, they are always super feisty and down to grab stuff. Ooh, yes. Roach got no chance, and I assume similar thing will happen with this one. Ooh, not immediate reaction, never mind. Yeah! Look how it got it. The fangs penetrated straight through its back. Whoa! This is so visual. Look, oh. Oof. The roach is trying to escape, but Tarantula is just pulling harder and biting harder and harder. Yeah, sorry, no chance for you. Your days are numbered. You can fight as much as you like. Oh yes, I can return the door, and that is it. And if you're wondering if you got the dark den enclosures, in theory you can pop this off. You see, just this top part, it is glued down, but it can still be separated. You see there are these pins, so even without glue, those pins can hold it together, and it is still kind of sturdy, but you can always re-glue it. But it can be separated like this, and then you can remove the door for whatever purpose you need. It was a bit easier for me to record this without the door, because then I can put both enclosures opened together. Otherwise I would have to have a door in between. So this is a little hack that you can do, but it is not an intentional design to separate like this, and if you do it a lot you can probably wear it down. So only do it if you really need it, and if you know how to re-glue it later if it's needed. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page and a web shop with merch and acrylic enclosures. They are all restocked. For all of you from US and Canada, I did a collaboration with Tarantula Cribs, and in the description you can find the link to all of my enclosures that are available only for US and Canada market, because these that I'm personally selling are not available over there, only in Europe. I upload every Monday, so see you again soon. Bye!